Please don't talk about suppositories
You
right
know, now that you mention it, I think it's time.
Oh my
I think
God.
it's time to talk about suppositories. Those can be used anally,
Okay, and welcome to the lasagna gotcha.
where we keep it real.
Oh, yes, yeah, that's one method, yes.
Yes, our older loved ones do seem to like it. It's a much more gentle THC effect. It's
How is that
strong.
gentle? That's like what fraternity motherfuckers do.
Do they?
Yeah,
I
fucking
didn't
drinking
know that.
alcohol out of their butts and shit. Like, turn it upside down and drink it out of fucking.
What?
Yeah. Like,
Oh my
or
gosh.
drug addicts? I don't know. I knew somebody used to do something with well, anyway.
The
Yeah.
80s was a hell of a time.
Yeah.
I am learning.
Give me some
It's the Lasagna Ganja Podcast. I am Mr. X to the Z Xzibit.
And I'm your girl, Tammy, a.k.a. the Cannabis Cutie.
Yes, and we are here with another episode. It is so fantastic to see you. How are you?
I am doing so good. I'm good and high right now, which means I'm good.
The gift that keeps on giving.
Praise her.
Now, so this episode is called "What the Fuck Does That Mean?"
All right. I like it.
Yeah. There's terms and acronyms that are in cannabis that a lot of people, as we go through these episodes, they're going to be thrown around pretty quickly. We want to familiarize you guys with these terms and frequently ask questions that are asked by people who may not know as much about cannabis as you do, because I am very limited in my knowledge. So, I know if either it's cannabis that I like or I don't like. You know what I'm saying? But this is a great episode to tune into, because we're going to give you these terms,
right?
And as you can use this as a glossary, right? So a way to know what we're talking about as we talk about different things in upcoming episodes.
Sorry, clearing my throat. Yes, this is going to be a reference episode. This is going to be a reference episode where you can come back to and kind of be like, wait, what was an MSO again? Wait, what is rosin again?
Right.
Wait, what does this mean? So yeah, we're going to be a little bit of a glossary explaining what some of the common things are that people discuss in cannabis. That way you can watch the podcast and understand what we're talking about in our cannabis lingo.
You can use this episode as a reference point. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So let's jump right into it. Yeah. What the fuck does that mean?
All right. What questions do you have for me?
Okay, so there's different terms. I mean, let's just start with the basics, right? Let's start with methods.
Okay.
Let's start with methods of cannabis use.
All right.
Consumption please don't start with depositories.
Suppositories. Listen, yes. Suppositories are great. We're going to talk about them in consumption methods, but respectfully, I will start with something else.
Please do.
Most common consumption method is going to be inhalation methods. Now, inhalation methods are not new to consuming medicine. In fact, people with asthma use inhalers. That's one way, or a breathing treatment. So inhalation methods are medicinal. One common one is smoking. You can do that with a joint paper. You can do that with a hemp blunt, which is my preferred method, or you can do it with tobacco. You can also use glass, like a bong or a pipe. There's so many different ways. Some have used apples out of necessity.
Yeah, smoking out of a can.
A can or a 2-liter bottle. There's so many different ways, but smoking is the most common.
I prefer that method.
Yeah, same. Yeah. You can stop when you've had enough. That's one of my favorite things about smoking. And then there's also vaping. That's another inhalation method.
Right.
Vaping it can be done with dry flower, dry herb, or it can be done in a concentrated form. So
do you think there's a difference between smoking out of a bong and smoking out of a paper?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, what's the difference for you?
One tastes like burnt paper to me. And the other one tastes so delicious as long as it's coming from clean glass and clean
So
water.
which one did you said which one is which?
Oh gosh, the clean glass bong, a nice beautiful bong with fresh water and a beautiful tasting flower that
Mm.
is loaded into that bong.
Yes,
Oh my gosh.
I agree. I agree.
Yes.
But I come from the crack era. Everything
Okay.
is about crack for me.
All
So,
right, 80s
so
baby.
anything that requires a torch is drugs. You doing
Right.
drugs, buddy?
Right.
You know, I'm not doing that. Like, I'm not smoking out of a pipe.
we,
That's
we
like,
we've come so far though.
yeah, but nah.
Well, okay.
No,
I
if
I
you have to have more than 5 things to light what you're doing, that's drugs.
okay. I'll counter you with a Puffco.
Okay. Yes, Puffcos are good.
Right.
Puffcos are good, but still, I'm good with Puffco. I'm just not good with the torch.
Dabber. Okay,
Yes,
so
the torch
they
is what you
have
need for dabs.
emails though. You can get a little thing that you put in your banger.
It's still a glass
setup.
pipe. Yeah,
It's
it's
a
like,
setup.
yo, it's like, come on, man.
Oh,
Yeah,
your trauma.
yeah, I am. I have. We already established that I have trauma,
Mhm.
so this is just part of it. You know,
Mhm.
goddamn crack era, New Jack City.
Mm. Dang. Well, I hope one day you can look at it different. But yes, it's very common
Yes.
for Gen X.
Everything is not for everyone.
No, Gen X is hold on. The glass is where I feel like, yeah, I'm a crackhead.
Yeah, I can't do it.
Understood,
I
but
can't do it.
historically, that's not the imagery.
Yeah, well, you know,
Yeah.
I've seen a lot.
I can tell.
All right. Okay, so other consumption methods that the terms might not be familiar with our audience.
Okay, you have edibles. Now, with smoking, you can stop when you're high. That's one of the benefits. With edibles, if you consume too much,
you're on a ride, baby.
Right, you might be done.
You're on a ride.
But it's not done.
Right.
And that can be a really not fun experience. So with edibles, they can be in, most commonly, they're in like gummy form or a brownie or some kind of confection.
Yes.
There is savory edibles that do exist as well. There's chips, there's crackers.
I just made some butter the other night.
Okay, check you out. Go buy something to match with it at the dispensary. But yeah, you can even buy butters now, ice creams, they exist. So those are edibles. They also come in beverages.
Yes.
And now you can get the dry powder format and make your own beverages.
Like
they have
Kool-Aid.
like sugar. Like they have sweetened sugar out there.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, or honey. So there's so many different ways to consume it as an edible, but it's important to know your number. So if you're going to try an edible, I highly suggest like 2.5 milligrams. If you don't feel anything, that is okay.
That's weenie.
No, don't.
Weenies.
Listen.
Come on.
I know somebody that just did a 10 milligram for their first time and had a horrible experience. They should have started with 2.5. If you feel nothing, that's okay.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I always start with I have a high tolerance. Right. So I would suggest, I've seen people eat 1,000 milligram, brownie when Corova was making those.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I love those things. But
Yeah.
I wouldn't say start there.
Listen, the thing is, there's so much pride out there when it's like, man, I could do 50 milligrams. It's like, no, you can't.
Yeah, no.
This is not anything that you want to play with. And then if you have a freak out or end up in the hospital, you just don't want to do it.
Yeah,
Start with
don't
2.5.
be that guy.
Yeah, start there. If you feel nothing, that's fine. Try again tomorrow with 5 milligrams. Work up in 2.5 milligram increments. I wouldn't suggest start at 5 because some people have had bad reactions to that.
Wow. Gotta get your bars up.
Yeah, and don't try to be tougher than the edible. You just ease your way into it, and then once you know your number, boom, then you're good to go.
But I mean, there's people that are taking it to the extremes. I mean, the dab thing is pretty crazy, which takes us into our next outside of usage, and some of the actual forms that THC can be presented in outside of flower, which is concentrates.
Yeah. So for me, how I select my concentrates, which I only smoke out of a Puffco, I'm gonna go with your live rosins versus your resins.
Okay, what's the difference between a rosin and a resin?
So it's pretty much just different extraction methods. So your resins are going to be extracted with like a butane. So butane hash oil, for example, BHO, if you've ever heard of that. I try not to mess with anything that is resin, because then they're also going to it's going to go through a distillation process. I don't want to deal with any of that because it makes me feel so nauseous,
Mhm.
and it makes me think about this new wave of cannabis hyperemesis syndrome, if you've ever heard of it.
I have not.
Okay.
Explain.
So cannabis hyperemesis syndrome is this really disgusting syndrome that once a person consumes cannabis, it's like cyclical vomiting for like
Ooh.
24 to 72 hours. And
Ooh.
the only thing that will give you relief is like a hot shower or a hot bath.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's like this new thing because look at Jamaica, that's not an issue there. Like, look
Right.
at, Snoop Dogg and
Right.
Willie Nelson, Cheech and Chong. Like, this is some new thing, and I really honestly believe that maybe some of these chemicals that are spilling over into the product could be affecting our endocannabinoid systems and
Mm.
creating, you know,
Havoc.
yeah,
Yeah, a lot of people,
damage.
I am an advocate for people to buy legally.
Mhm.
That because legal cannabis is thoroughly tested.
Mhm.
It has to go through a system that
Mhm.
is thoroughly checked.
Yeah.
And you know what you're getting on the package. When you buy from the black market, even though it may be cheap, they don't take the same steps that is
Right.
taken in legal cannabis in order to ensure its safety as you are consuming something into your body.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, even the legal companies, like, we really don't have long-term information on what some of these chemicals are doing to our bodies.
Correct.
Even with edibles, like, there's full spectrum edibles, and then there's, like, nanocannabinoids,
Yeah,
and,
distillate edibles.
yeah, so, I always suggest to go for full spectrum, full plant, whole plant as
Mhm,
much as you can,
mhm.
and kinda stay away from, again, the chemicals. I'm always gonna go in that direction. But with the concentrates with rosin, it's different. It's just heat and pressure, really. It's frozen cannabis, flash frozen after it's
Right.
harvested. Heat and pressure is applied to it. It's agitated in an ice bath sometimes, and that is going to be your product,
It
chemical
is. Okay,
free.
and I have to play devil's advocate
Yeah.
because the yield that you get from rosin
Mhm.
outside of, the other forms of harvesting the plant and making these concentrates is night and day.
Mhm.
You can make distillate all day long with
Yeah.
with very little, effort.
Yeah.
To get rosin is very pure. It's a very pure
Yeah.
product,
Whole,
but I mean, it's the yield is very small.
correct.
So you have to use a lot of cannabis to get a little bit of rosin.
Yeah, which is why it can be a bit pricey
Right,
whenever you are purchasing
right,
rosin, but
right,
I think it's worth it. There's some really beautiful tasting rosin out there,
right.
and if you're really like a concentrate person, you can buy your own rosin press they have like small at home rosin presses
Hmm.
that you can purchase, and I've seen some really interesting techniques of how people do it on YouTube as well. So
Yeah, absolutely. It's out there.
yeah.
But for the person that's balancing diapers,
Yeah.
Mickey D's, and a
Yeah.
light bill, they may
Mm.
want something a
Yeah,
little
then
more
maybe,
economical.
resin.
Yeah.
There's some good resin companies out there, but a flower girl
Yeah.
at the end of the day.
There it is.
Yeah.
There it
Mhm.
is. So flour. We dealt with concentrates. And there's a gel caps out there. We talked about edibles.
Mhm.
What are we missing here as far as the terminology of what's there?
Topicals.
Yes.
Topicals are gonna be so your skin is an organ, and your
Hmm.
skin does have receptors,
Hmm.
that communicate with the plant through that endocannabinoid system we spoke about in a previous episode.
Hmm.
And you can use topicals for pain relief. So, muscle soreness, aches and pains, swelling, it's going to be a really good anti inflammatory. And you can also get transdermal patches that you put on your wrist, and that's going to also put um, cannabinoids within your body going straight to the bloodstream
There's a
with these
really
patches.
there's a really great topical from Buddies
Hmm.
called Fire and Ice.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I've had that before.
It actually works.
Hmm.
There's a lot of stuff out there that it's like, I feel a little something. No,
Hmm.
this is working,
Yeah.
right? I used to buy it for my grandmother before she passed.
Okay.
She we started out with one of the other ones. It had the wooden top on it. What is it? It sounds like Bartles and James, but
Hmm.
it's you know what I'm talking about.
Hmm.
Um, but it was
Papa and Barkley?
yes, Papa
Yeah.
and Barkley.
Mhm.
I don't know why I said
That's an amazing
yeah.
topical brand, yeah.
Right. I started with that. As she went through that, I found that, had her try it, and then it worked a little better. So
Okay.
yeah, Fire and Ice works on a topical. I can attest to that. That it worked for someone I love very deeply.
Yeah,
Man.
absolutely. So topicals are incredible, especially for our elderly loved ones.
Mm.
Transdermal, again, it's going to go straight to the bloodstream, depending on your placement. And then similar to going straight to the bloodstream would be a sublingual,
Mm.
which is taking a tincture, which is an oil product that comes in a dropper, and placing it under your tongue and holding it there for a minute to two, or as long as you can.
Yeah.
And that'll bypass your liver,
Hmm.
because edibles take time because you have to digest them, and it
Right.
has to go through your there's a whole process, which is why sometimes your edibles can take forever to kick in. So
Yeah.
with a tincture, it's going to bypass all of that. So that's one of the cool things about transdermal and sublingual.
Yeah. I fuck with edibles. I love it. You know
You
what I'm
do.
saying?
What's your
Yeah.
number?
What do you mean?
Like how many milligrams
I
do
could do
you?
100 easy.
Okay, so
200.
okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like yeah, I have a high tolerance.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, but I also like that. You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
like being, very intense environment where
Yeah.
I'm at. You know what I'm saying? We're dealing with music, travel, shows, it's divorce, all type of shit happening.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Pretty intense. So when I get
Yeah.
to be able to relax and, take some time, when I take my breaths, the edible kind of like gets me in a place where I can get off that merry-go-round for a second.
Intentionality.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Edibles are
Yeah.
great. Okay. That's a big number.
Hmm.
I don't like to go past 50. I pretty much hang around 20,
Yeah.
but 50 is like my absolute. I don't want to
Well,
go
you
past
also
this.
like 100 pounds, so you know what I'm saying? Like
Muscle is denser than fat. I'm not 100 pounds.
Yeah, I got a
yeah.
big body right now, so it takes a minute for my shit to move around.
Oh, no, you look great.
Oh, okay. All right.
What's another consumption method?
Please don't talk about suppositories right now.
Now that you mention it, I think it's time.
Oh my
I think
God.
it's time to talk about suppositories. Those can be used anally,
Okay, and welcome to the lasagna gotcha.
where we keep it real. Where we keep it real. All right.
Oh, yes, that's one method, yes.
Yes, our older loved ones do seem to like it. It's a much more gentle THC effect. It's not as
How is that
strong.
gentle? That's like what fraternity motherfuckers do.
Do
Like,
they?
yeah,
I
fucking
didn't
drinking
know that.
alcohol out of their butts and shit. Like, turn it upside down and drink it out of fucking.
What?
Yeah, like,
Oh my
or
gosh.
drug addicts. I don't know. I knew
Oh.
somebody used to do something with. Well, anyway,
The
yeah,
80s was a hell of a time.
yeah.
I am learning.
Yeah, I think I remember hearing about people doing like blow up their butts.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I have no interest.
Yeah, I think when their nose cartilage runs out, then they have to start doing it a different way.
Oh, at that point, it's just like, do we keep continuing down this path? Okay.
Hey, cocaine is a hell of a drug.
Well, clearly. But yeah, so the suppositories, older crowds do like them. And they're great for women with cramps. A lot of women use
wow.
them. Mhm.
That
And-
might be an angle.
Yeah.
Now, yeah.
They're
I
really good
think
for
that
cramps.
I think the that angle is a little more. Well, I don't know. I just can't see what company makes suppositories and where.
Euphoria.
Really?
And they're marketed for sex. And if you
Oh,
read
what
the
the fuck?
reviews, if you read the reviews for these suppositories are mind blowing. It's like they had a great time.
Wait, okay, so
Mhm.
what? Okay,
Cannabis is an aphrodisiac as well.
I'm gonna kill myself for asking you this question.
Okay.
But because I'm a newbie here. What do you need suppositories for sex for?
I mean, if it gets you aroused, people do say that they smoke weed and get really horny, and that's a really fun way to play with it and get things going.
Okay.
Aphrodisiac.
Yeah, just stick some weed up your ass and
There you go. Hey,
now you're
better than blow.
now, wow. Is it?
I think so. I don't feel like it's gonna wreck your butthole the way
Come on. Okay. All right. See,
the
now,
way that cocaine
all right.
might.
All right. Let's take a commercial break. The fuck. This shit's going off the rails. We're going straight to commercial after this. Jesus Christ. We're back on the Lasagna Ganja podcast. I'm Mr. X to the Z Xzibit.
And I'm your girl, Tammy, aka the Cannabis Cutie.
And we are talking about definitions and facts.
All right.
Frequently asked questions in cannabis.
Mm-hmm.
Went through some funny stuff. Having fun with this. How about you?
I'm having fun.
Yeah. All right. So let's get into some frequently asked questions.
Mm-hmm.
Things that are coming in from our listeners. People who may be new to cannabis, people who may be new to the concept or the thought of experimenting with cannabis, and are, diehard, I'm smoking 7 grams in one dab listeners.
Yes.
They're out there.
Yes.
Yeah. Shout out to everybody who's out there. I didn't mean to disrespect your craft. I respect the dabbers. Just not for me. Yeah.
Shout out to the dabbers, to the hash heads.
Yes, and the suppository users.
Yes, I'm telling you, there's a demographic.
I'm not going down that road again. I know you're passionate about that.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get a brand for you.
For the ladies.
Yeah. Put it in CBS. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so let's hit us off with some frequently asked questions. I know we have a list.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Let's get into it.
Okay, so people are always confused. What's the difference between marijuana, cannabis, and hemp? Do you know the difference?
Marijuana and cannabis are the same.
Okay. Yes.
Hemp is different.
How?
Well, it doesn't have the same THC molecules,
right,
or
content. Yeah.
Nobody said I was a scientist, but I know the fuck I'm talking about. It doesn't have the same properties as a cannabis plant.
Right. Okay, so that's pretty much it. So hemp would be a legal term.
Mm-hmm.
So the legal definition of hemp is it's a cannabis plant with less than 0.3% THC.
Correct.
Now they're thinking about moving that threshold to 0.5%. So now hemp, if it's above 0.3%, it's a cannabis plant, it's a marijuana plant, but below it, it's hemp. So it's just a legal definition. And that is why police officer, the K9 dogs, why they can't tell the difference between a hemp plant and a cannabis plant is because THC does not have a scent. Yes. Mm-hmm.
That's a fun fact right there.
Yeah, so that they're all one thing. They just, have different designations based upon the law.
Okay, that you bring up a good point. So since THC doesn't have a scent, when people smell weed, they're smelling the terpenes. What is a terpene, and how does it connect with THC, and why do people add terpenes into things?
Okay, so terpenes are aromatic compounds found throughout nature. So they're on fruits, flowers. You can find them in cosmetics, soaps, lotions, cleaning supplies, limonene, linalool. These are some common terpenes. Linalool produces the lavender scent. Limonene is going to be your lemons. So terpenes are going to give you a different kind of feel. So sometimes you'll have, to the trained nose, you'll have a cannabis flower that smells like oranges. And when I say flower, I mean the nugs and the buds. So it'll smell like oranges, and that's because it has terpenes that are going to be orangey. And then sometimes it'll smell earthy or it'll smell peppery even. So many different scents, and those are going to be based on the terpenes, and that smell is going to pay attention to that smell and how you react. For some reason, citrusy flower makes a really large subset of group of people not like citrusy cannabis. And I'm part of that group of people because sometimes it makes me feel my heart race. I feel a bit paranoid or nauseous, like I'm going to faint, really hot. I just don't react well to it. So I just have known to stay away from those, what we would call cultivars, which are different strains.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I like it all.
Okay.
Bring that shit in.
All of it. You like the citrus, the lemons.
Yeah, I love all that
gazzy.
shit. Gas, all that.
Yeah, I like a gazzy strain. That's my favorite.
I'm used to rolling things in like backwoods. Like, I like to roll a blunt, still. And so, like I used to break it down. Now I just throw the whole bud in there. It's just like it burns. Like,
you do a split.
Yeah, I do
where
a big
it's half
split.
tobacco, half weed.
No, I don't like to. They do that in Europe a lot.
Okay.
When I first went to Europe, it was like they were like, "Do you want to smoke a joint?" And I was like, "Yeah, man." And they would just mix their stuff with tobacco, and I'd be like, "What the fuck is this?"
Yeah, it's like popular in Rastafarian culture.
Yes. But I prefer like rolling in a cigar, like a natural tobacco leaf.
Okay.
And then like it's that's my go-to. But,
yeah. All right, I love it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So frequently asked questions we're talking about on the Lasagna Gancha podcast. Hit me with another one.
Okay. Can you fly with cannabis?
Oh, I was about to say, can you fly? I don't know.
No, with cannabis.
We gotta get some what is it? Ayahuasca? Ayahuasca, yeah. Maybe.
Oh man. So flying with it, technically under federal, it's under
flying through airports.
Yeah,
guys.
through
We're
airports.
not talking about that high.
On an airplane.
Yeah.
Technically it's federal jurisdiction when you fly, and cannabis is federally illegal. So the answer would be no. That being said, I don't think TSA cares about anybody's drugs. I really think that they're more worried about the guns and things like,
Correct.
And the bombs.
Correct. Now they made an announcement. I'm not sure how this played out or how people are moving on it. But if you're going state to state where cannabis is legal, I don't think they trip that much.
Yeah.
I think they put like there was an announcement from LAX that you said that you could actually travel with a certain amount.
An ounce.
Up
to an ounce.
Right. Correct. Which trips me the fuck out. I mean,
right. I mean, you're not going to stop it. It's really, again, if you're getting to a state that's illegal, you want to be careful, but also be smart. Like, why would you put it under the plane? And then even if you don't get caught by the police, it's going to get stolen.
Yeah.
You can't report it missing.
People gonna smell it.
You can't report that missing. It's gone.
Yeah. So the official answer is no.
Yeah.
But don't be stupid.
Don't be stupid.
There you go.
Another frequently asked.
Wait. How hard do those TSA agents go? They go hard.
I know people who have gotten caught with weed, and usually what happens is they'll call the police. The police just kind of, and this is out of LAX, they just check and make sure you have, no more than what's legally allowed, that you don't look like you're trafficking.
Right.
Yeah, and then they're just kind of like,
Yeah, I went through LAX one time. I was just coming from, I think, Olympics. Shout out to Green Wolf, everybody out there. Shout out.
Great event.
Olympics was great. I had my goodie bag, bunch of shit in it. I was late for a flight. I just brought it in, checked it in, went through the TSA guy knew, what was going on. He looked in the bag. He's like, "Oh, I got to call the police and make sure. I know you can do this and do it, but it's just my job." I was like, "Yeah, go ahead." So the guy comes over, he looks at it, cops looks at it. They, he looked at all the numbers, made sure it wasn't over a certain amount. He let me go through.
Yeah.
It was no big deal.
Yeah, that's usually how it goes down. They're not trying to ruin your day or anything. You just can't be
shout
like
out to
an
LAPD,
obvious...
shout out to airport police, shout out TSA. You know what I'm saying? It's all good.
Yeah. So just be smart, at least leaving LA. And then again, don't go into a state like Mississippi where they might not be happy about you.
Kentucky
in LA.
That go to that Bible Belt, boy.
Yeah, be careful. Be careful.
They coming through. All right, cool. All right.
Another frequently asked question.
Yes,
Let's see what we have.
Yeah.
What the caller said. What's the difference between CBD and THC?
I think it's the same as like the way I look at hemp and cannabis.
Okay.
I mean, CBD is like water. And
Pretendica.
Yeah. It's like, what are you doing? Like, don't even do it.
Yeah, no. Okay.
Don't even do it. Why don't you just drink some water? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not the same thing as THC. THC is the real deal. That's gasoline, and the other stuff is, water.
Okay. So yeah, THC is going to be intoxicating, whereas
Mhm.
CBD is not going to be intoxicating.
Doesn't have. It's just like, what are you doing?
Well, it
It's
does.
like drinking non-alcoholic beer.
Well, there is benefits. It's just you're not going to be intoxicated. That's the only downside, but you'll get all the benefits. It does a very good job at promoting a better mood,
Yeah.
helping with sleep. Some people it helps with sleep, and other people it helps with energy. You just have to know how it's going to impact you. Yeah. Yeah, it's one of those things that's hard to figure out, but so many people love CBD, and it's actually a really great cannabinoid to throw into the mix when you're consuming
This is a
CBD,
perfect place to use
THC.
the word bah humbug.
I know, as Delta 9 fans, but
Ah,
CBD does deserve its glory. I think it
yes,
absolutely helps
it's
a lot
good.
of people change their minds about cannabis.
It's good for your pets.
It's good for your It's good for your immunity. It's good for depression. It's
Oh,
good
okay.
for a lot of things.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm just a big fan of THC.
Yes, Delta
Yeah.
9
But
is
the
bae.
CBD is great. Don't let me stir you in the wrong direction.
Correct.
It's
Yes.
good. It's good.
CBD is great. I mean, it's even safe for your pets and for children. I
Yes.
mean, giving kids methamphetamines, Adderall is insane.
Mm,
Or amphetamine salts, whatever it is. But I think CBD is definitely promising with helping our children with a lot of the things that they deal with. So I
yeah.
really hope that we look more into CBD as kind of a supplement for children or for just like aches and pains or, a tummy ache or whatever for
Mm,
in place of amphetamine salts.
mm.
So
It's
yeah.
gonna be interesting to see what products get on the shelves in the next 10 years.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's gonna be incredible. As long as we can deschedule the plant.
Yeah.
That's another thing. What is drug scheduling? Why is cannabis illegal? Do you know anything?
Because I mean, like everything else, they haven't figured out how to tax it yet.
They haven't figured out how to benefit.
Yeah.
Right. Only the people are benefiting.
Man,
So.
yeah, give us one. Give us one thing.
Right. Right. So drug scheduling, all drugs sit on a schedule, a list of drugs, and schedule 1 is like the worst of the worst, down to schedule 5, which is a bit more benign. Schedule 1 is going to be your psilocybin, your LSD, cannabis. I wonder, did cocaine get moved to schedule 2? We need to look
I
that
don't
up.
know. I don't know. Let's look it up.
Yeah, let's look it up. But basically, all pharmaceuticals that actually can kill you will be schedule 2 and below. And that's because they just wanted to have like a firewall.
Well, because they make them.
Yeah, they want a firewall between recreational drugs and their drugs. Even though
Right.
cannabis cannot kill you, they still have it as a dangerous, no medical accepted use and a high potential of abuse is where it sits in drug scheduling.
That's another frequently asked question. Can you get addicted to marijuana?
Oh, addicted like cigarettes?
Yeah.
Addicted?
Yeah.
Not in that kind of sense,
Mm.
but you can have an addictive, habitual relationship with the plant. The same way that some people can be addicted to food or be addicted to working out or addicted to work, or addicted to people
Mm.
or a bad relationship.
Ooh,
So
addicted to people. What is that
yeah,
called?
yeah, that's called codependency, I think.
Oh yeah, you're right. You nailed it. You nailed it. You nailed
But
it. I was like, ooh, I don't have that.
yeah, so you can
I'm the opposite.
you can get
I have the antidote.
There's a psychological addiction that absolutely can occur, which is why intentionality with your use is important. Like, why am I consuming right now? Is it because I need to relax? Is it because I want to be creative?
Mm.
Because I want to go into a social setting? I want to enjoy this food, whatever it is, be intentional. That way you do make sure that your relationship with the plant is a positive one and not
Right.
just a mindless consumption. I'm going to smoke it because it's there.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I like to smoke it because it's there.
Well, just as long as your vibes are high when you spark up, because there's nothing worse than feeling really bad and then getting high and feeling worse.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, it's because you're thinking about that thing that's making you feel bad. And that plant, I mean, with psilocybin, we know that
Mm.
you've got to be, your set and setting have to be A1
Mhm.
before you take a trip. or else it could be a bad trip. And not enough people give that respect to the cannabis plant. And people who get anxious and paranoid, you need to be very wary of your set and setting with this plant as well. It is very powerful. So making sure that you're in a good headspace and that you're in a good environment so that when you do consume, you feel okay. Yeah. Intentionality.
Understood. Frequently asked questions today on Lasagna Ganja podcast.
Yeah.
I've heard some pretty stupid questions about marijuana.
There's no such thing as a stupid question.
Absolutely it is. There's some pretty stupid questions about marijuana.
Okay.
Is marijuana a gateway drug to harder drugs?
Ooh, the research shows that the gateway drug the gateway drug to other harder drugs is alcohol.
Yeah.
Like that is what it is.
Yeah.
Yes. And in fact, there are a lot of people who can attribute to cannabis being an exit drug.
Yeah, that's why they call it spirits.
Yeah.
Let's be clear here.
Yeah.
You know, spirits, alcohol, you know, it lowers your inhibitions.
Yes.
You know, you've done a lot of dumb shit off alcohol. I have. I think it's on DVD somewhere.
Yeah.
It can be looked up. But yeah, it is amazing. Statistics show alcohol is the gateway drug to harder drugs.
Yes.
You know, I think with cannabis, it falls into the same reason why it's in Schedule 1. It makes no sense to say that, oh, I smoked weed, so now I'm banging 8 balls of fucking heroin.
No, there's like no desire in me that wants to
Maybe
go.
we get a pizza.
I do not want to feel the way that cocaine makes people look. Like I don't want to know. And I know they don't want to like be addicted to it, but like you can absolutely develop a dependency to things like that. And it's so harmful. And like most potheads that we know are pretty harmless.
Yeah, for sure. They're not going to do much.
Yeah, they're not. They're not that problematic. They may have, now they could be lazy. Now, that's the question. Does cannabis make you lazy? I think a lazy person who smokes weed becomes much lazier. I think that's what happens.
It's like money. It just enhances who you are.
Right. But of all the millionaires and even billionaires and successful people that you know, how many of them smoke weed?
Yeah, and microdose.
All of them.
Yeah.
All of them. I feel like drug users are some of the most successful people on the planet. If we're being honest, like look at your famous friends. They are consuming and intoxicating with something.
Yeah, absolutely.
So cannabis can make you lazy if you're already lazy.
Yeah.
But I don't think that it's the cause of the laziness.
No.
I think
that's just in you, buddy.
Yeah, that's just that.
That's just who you are. It's in your DNA.
Did you know there's a couch potato gene?
What?
Yes.
What's it called?
I don't know the name of the gene, but I saw the study and I was like, that sucks because you probably get told you're lazy and it's not even your fault.
Damn. I've been clinically diagnosed.
Genetically disposed to not doing shit. That sucks.
Don't you? Hey, listen, if you're listening, let's find out what the term is. Send it to us so we can break it down. We're going to start sending you guys some excuses.
Yeah, imagine that person smoking. Oh my gosh.
Oh my God.
Poster child for never to use this product.
Yeah, jeez.
Yeah.
Okay, so look, so that leads us to another frequently asked question. Why does smoking or consuming cannabis give you the munchies?
Ooh, that's just a byproduct because we have this thing called the endocannabinoid system, and it's a system in our body that governs all the other systems, and its whole purpose is to keep everything in balance. That's all it wants to do, is to keep everything in balance, and cannabis is part of that puzzle that helps do that. And of course, hunger is going to be ruled by this system as well. So
why does it specifically make you hungry though? It doesn't make you thirsty. Well, cottonmouth.
It does make you thirsty.
Yeah, but you know, everything tastes great.
Yeah.
But I mean, it makes everything like your average, like you eat a sandwich, then you smoke a joint, and it's like, oh fuck, this is fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Like, why does it affect that? And why does it make it so good?
the easiest way to understand it is just, so there are cannabinoids that are going to induce hunger. They're just going to play on those chemicals that are going to make you want to eat. And then there's going to be ones that suppress it. So it's an either or. Just like I said, CBD gives some people energy and makes some sleepy. It's an either or type of thing. For some people, they don't really get the munchies. And for others, it's like their stomach has no bottom to it.
Right.
Yeah, it's numb.
Right. So
numb.
why does that happen though?
I think, I don't want to, can we look it up?
Yeah, let's look it up. Yeah.
So that I don't know that science. I just know.
Yeah, let's look at why does weed give you the munchies? What nerve does that hit?
Like let's get into like the deep science.
Yeah, let's figure it out.
Why does weed give you the munchies? I've never made a video about this.
Yeah, Google is our friend.
It's because THC makes you think you're hungry even when you're not, is the
That's it? No, there's got to be a better.
This is what Google will tell you right now.
Yeah.
The next one says, by binding to the receptors in the olfactory bulb in the brain, THC appears to enhance our sensitivity to smell, which would make aromas from food more potent, which would then make us probably hungry.
Yeah, but the craving, I mean, you don't usually have the food in front of you. You just automatically start thinking of food and be like, fuck, let's order some fucking...
Yeah, well, CB1 receptors can be found in the basal ganglia, where it may enhance eating pleasure, the limbic forebrain, where it may enhance food palatability, the stomach and small intestine, which regulate an appetite-stimulating hormone, and the hypothalamus and rhombencephalon. I'm not a neurologist.
Yes.
I do apologize to my neurologists who
Hey,
are
don't worry about it. They know what the fuck
at...
you're talking about.
So yeah, there's a lot of different parts in the brain that are going to hit it, but that's just a very well-known side effect of THC is hunger. It's going to induce hunger.
Good. I like that.
Yeah, which is really good for people who need to eat, people with cancer who can't eat because the chemo sucks, or people who are taking really strong medicine, like people with AIDS who can't eat either. So that's a huge benefit for people.
Shout out to Snoop Dogg. He's got that munchie box over there at Jack in the Box.
Oh, does he? I need to get that.
Oh man, shout out to Jack in the Box.
Boom.
We're not
munchies.
Getting sponsored by them. We're nothing. This is just like, we gotta give flowers where flowers are due. They are literally promoting to a cannabis-friendly audience, calling it the munchie box, having Snoop Dogg. We know what you mean.
Listen.
They're getting close to the line. They're getting closest to the line as anybody I've ever seen. So shout out the marketing department at Jack in the Box. You guys are fucking killing it. Right on.
Not even that. Like, being honest about your clientele. Based upon that menu, you are calling all stoners. You've got breakfast food. You've got desserts. You've got over-seasoned fries like I like them. You got burgers. You got chickens. You got mini tacos. Like, I can go get everything that I want when I have the munchies, like in one place at 2:00 in the morning.
But to have Snoop Dogg there solidifies like, yo, we're talking to you. We see you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jack in the Box. You're fucking amazing.
Yeah, so weed gives you the munchies, but there are cannabinoids. THCV is very common for doing the opposite. It suppresses appetite. So for people who maybe are looking for a more natural weight loss method, that could be one. But again, you have to see how these products affect you on a day-to-day basis. Can you still get things done? It's going to differ person to person.
It's up to you. It's on
everybody's
you.
different.
Everybody's different.
Okay, a common question I know, can you overdose?
No. You cannot.
You can't. It's not really possible. They had a monkey study where this monkey overdosed, but they really just suffocated him with a gas mask and said it was the weed that killed him. It's so sad.
Why are we laughing?
It's not.
That's so bad.
It's so sad.
Yo, we're not with Peter's gonna fucking kill us.
Oh my
we're
gosh.
not laughing at the monkey.
No, R.I.P. monkey. It was so messed
I just
up.
had the vision of the monkey in the gas mask and it fucked me up.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, I'm not insensitive. Like, calm down. It was fucking funny.
But how pharmaceutical, how people overdose on pharmaceuticals is, so our brainstem is what controls automatic behaviors, blinking, breathing. And then when the brainstem is paralyzed from like the pharmaceuticals, then those automatic behaviors just stop.
Wow.
So that's how people can overdose. Because if they throw up, they're not automatically choking. then they, suffocate in that way, or they just stop breathing, and then that automatic thing that makes them breathe is paralyzed, and then they pass away.
Wow.
Yeah. So cannabis, it can't get into the brainstem. There's no receptors in the brainstem. It's too big of a molecule to get there.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So have at it. Take it to the limit.
I don't know if that's the best advice either.
Just like looks at. You gotta find, just like you gotta drive a car fast. You gotta test the limits on a car. That's my experience with cannabis has been that it's always been a quest for more. Faster, bigger, louder. Yeah. And I know where my limits are now. But I'd rather know where the ceiling is than not.
Right. Okay.
Right.
Yeah. Just make sure you're in a safe place with good people.
Yeah.
And prepare for naps. I think that's the worst side effect, is you're going to fall asleep.
You're going to eat a gang of shit and go to sleep.
Right. Also have a lot of snacks before you start this
Get
quest.
prepared.
Yes.
Get prepared. Yeah, I think we should do a cookbook.
Really? Do you cook?
I cook a lot.
Really?
Absolutely.
Wow.
I know how to make, my grandmother did me good.
Okay.
She taught me how to make a Thanksgiving dinner from scratch. I love being able to cook. So a cookbook might be in order.
Lasagna cookbook?
I know how to make the best lasagna.
I haven't seen it. I don't believe you.
Oh my God. Oh my God. I'm gonna start banging it out though. That might be a good idea.
Lasagna on the lasagna ganja?
That's
Lasagna
the best
ganja idea.
Book of recipes, munchies, and kick-ass food.
All right, I'm down. I would love to be the taste tester.
Yeah, it's going down.
That's what I would like to do.
We got to do it. We got to bring a chef on here.
We have to. I know so many of them. Have you ever seen Chop 420?
No.
Oh, wow.
I know a lot of great chefs
Okay.
that work with cannabis, so we got to pull that together. That'd be a great episode.
Oh, yeah. I would love snacks on the show.
Oh, yeah.
I would love Check out the Lasagna Ganja podcast wherever podcasts are streamed.
And check out our separate feed with video episodes.
Available on Spotify and YouTube.
For more information, visit dcpofficial.com.